Hey there, my friend. In this video, we're diving into the shocking stories of famous stars who are now serving life sentences. Get ready to uncover the chilling truths behind their downfalls and see how justice caught up with them. Drop a 1 in the comments, and let's jump right in. Oscar Pistorius was once regarded as one of the most inspiring athletes in the world. After losing both of his legs at a young age, the South African sprinter overcame tremendous challenges to become a renowned competitor. He made history by competing in both the Paralympic and Olympic Games, demonstrating that physical limitations do not define a person's potential. However, his legacy took a tragic turn when he was involved in a high-profile murder case that changed public perception forever. However, in the early hours of Valentine's Day 2013, Pistorius's heroic story took a dark and tragic turn. That morning, he shot and killed his girlfriend, Reeva Steenkamp, a well-known model, through the bathroom door in his home. Pistorius claimed he mistook her for an intruder, but authorities questioned his story due to signs of tension in their relationship in the months leading up to the shooting. In October 2014, Pistorius was convicted of culpable homicide and sentenced to 5 years in prison. However, his early release less than a year later for good behavior sparked widespread outrage, leading to calls for a harsher sentence. By November 2015, the original conviction for culpable homicide was overturned, and Pistorius was found guilty of murder. His sentence was increased to 6 years, a decision many considered too lenient given the severity of the crime. Prosecutors subsequently pressed for an extended sentence, arguing that justice for Steenkamp had still not been fully served. When Percy Master P. Miller began building his success with No Limit Records, he was determined to help his brothers escape the dangers of life in the New Orleans projects. Master P not only supported them but also elevated his brothers, Corey, known as C-Murder, and Vishon, better known as Silk the Shocker, to become key artists within his growing talent roster. Despite achieving gold records and increasing fame, Corey Miller continued to face significant legal and personal challenges. In 2001, Miller faced legal issues following a shooting outside a nightclub, but this was only the beginning of his troubles. In January 2002, he was involved in another altercation at a New Orleans nightclub, where he fired a gun, tragically hitting Steve Thomas in the chest. Thomas died on the scene, and Miller faced 2 trials. His first trial in 2003 resulted in a life sentence, but the conviction was overturned due to the prosecution's failure to disclose key witness criminal records. Miller was retried in 2009 and was once again sentenced to life in prison. In recent years, high-profile activists, including Kim Kardashian, have advocated for a re-examination of his case. However, in 2023, a federal judge upheld Miller's sentence, leaving his situation unchanged. Tammy Lynn Sytch, known as Sunny in WWE, was once a trailblazing diva, but her life outside the ring spiraled into addiction and legal troubles. On March 25, 2022, while heavily intoxicated, she caused a fatal crash in Ormond Beach, Florida, killing 75-year-old Julian Lassiter. With a blood alcohol level over 3 times the legal limit, she faced multiple charges, including DUI manslaughter and driving with a suspended license. A repeat offender, Sytch pleaded no contest and, in August 2023, was sentenced to 17 years in prison. Now, 51, she is set for release in 2039 at age 67. Her downfall stands as a grim reminder of the devastating cost of drunk driving. Joe Sun, known for his role as Random Task in Austin Powers' International Man of Mystery, is currently serving a life sentence due to serious criminal charges. Before entering the acting world, he was an MMA fighter with a record of 0 wins and 4 losses. However, his notoriety would soon stem from a horrific crime that occurred many years prior. On Christmas night in 1990, Sun and an accomplice were involved in the kidnapping and assault of a woman in Huntington Beach, California. The incident was violent and left the victim deeply traumatized, as she endured severe humiliation before being released. Despite the gravity of the crime, Sun evaded justice for nearly 2 decades. It wasn't until 2008 that Sun was arrested for unrelated charges, and his DNA was entered into the national database, leading to a match in the cold case. Finally, the victim, who had lived in fear and uncertainty for many years, had the opportunity to seek justice. In 2008, Sun faced multiple criminal charges, including kidnapping and torture. Due to the statute of limitations on some charges, he couldn't be tried for all of them, but he was ultimately convicted of torture in 2011, receiving a sentence ranging from 7 years to life. While serving his sentence, Sun was also implicated in another violent incident that resulted in the death of a fellow inmate, a sex offender, leading to a voluntary manslaughter conviction in 2017, which added 27 years to his sentence. He is currently serving a total of 34 years to life in prison. Shannon Richardson, known for her roles in The Walking Dead and The Vampire Diaries, became involved in a shocking crime in 2013. In a bizarre turn of events, she sent letters containing the toxic substance ricin to President Barack Obama, New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg, and Mark Glaze, the director of Mayors Against Illegal Guns. Ricin, derived from castor beans, poses a serious threat to the recipients. Amid a tumultuous marriage to her husband Nathan Richardson, Shannon attempted to frame him by planting evidence. However, a swift investigation revealed that she was the one behind the incident. The FBI arrested her in June 2013 after she confessed to producing and sending the toxic letters from her home in Texas. She was charged with 3 counts of threatening the president, 2 counts of sending threatening letters, and 1 count of producing and possessing a biological weapon. Richardson's trial unveiled a troubling narrative in which she argued that her actions stemmed from emotional stress related to her difficult marriage and pregnancy. However, the court deemed her actions intentional and extremely reckless. In July 2014, Shannon Richardson was sentenced to 18 years in federal prison after pleading guilty to possessing and producing a biological agent. She was also ordered to pay $367,400 to cover the government's investigation costs, including the expenses related to handling the contaminated letters. She is currently incarcerated at the Federal Medical Center Carswell in Texas, with a projected release date around 2032. Harrison Norris Jr., known as Hardbody Harrison in WCW, was a rising wrestling star in the 1990s and later gained fame by winning FX's Toughman in 2000. However, his life took a sinister turn when he lured women with promises of wrestling careers only to exploit them. He allegedly forced victims into illegal activities to repay debts, using threats to maintain control. His crimes escalated to human trafficking, leading to federal charges. In November 2007, Norris was convicted and sentenced to life in prison, a shocking downfall for a once promising athlete. Amy Locane, known for her role as Sandy Harling in Melrose Place, was involved in a tragic incident on June 27, 2010. While driving under the influence, Locane collided with another vehicle, exceeding the speed limit at 53 miles per hour in a 35-mile-per-hour zone. The crash resulted in the death of 60-year-old Helen Seaman and left her husband, Fred, with serious injuries. At the time of the crash, Locane's blood alcohol concentration was nearly 3 times the legal limit. She was subsequently charged with second-degree vehicular manslaughter and third-degree assault by vehicle, sparking a lengthy legal battle. In 2012, she was sentenced to 3 years in prison, a ruling that drew widespread criticism for being too lenient given the severity of the case. The judge cited her clean record and responsibility as a mother of 2 young children as mitigating factors. However, the Seaman family and prosecutors argued that the punishment failed to reflect the gravity of her actions, leading to multiple appeals and retrials. Amid the legal turmoil, Locane's husband filed for divorce and pursued full custody of their 2 daughters. After years of legal battles, she was retried in 2020 and received an 8-year prison sentence, requiring her to serve at least 6 years and 10 months before parole eligibility. Currently incarcerated at the Edna Mahan Correctional Facility for Women, she recently lost an appeal for a reduced sentence, solidifying the consequences of her actions. Josh Duggar, once a prominent figure on TLC's reality show 19 Kids and Counting, saw his career collapse amid shocking scandals. His legal troubles surfaced in 2015 when allegations emerged of past misconduct involving multiple underage sisters and a family friend. Though the incidents had occurred years earlier, the revelations ignited widespread public outrage, ultimately leading to the cancellation of the family's reality show. In April 2021, Josh Duggar was federally charged with possessing and receiving illicit materials involving minors. Each count carried a potential 20-year sentence, and investigators deemed the content particularly disturbing. By December 2021, he was convicted on both counts, and in May 2022, he was sentenced to 12 years and 7 months in federal prison, with no chance of parole. Upon release, he will face 20 years of supervised probation and must register as a sex offender. Unlike many in similar cases, his wife, Anna, remained by his side throughout the trial. Currently incarcerated at FCI Seagoville in Texas, Duggar will be 48 years old upon his earliest possible release. Skylar Julius DeLeon, a former Mighty Morphin Power Rangers actor, became infamous for one of California's most shocking crimes. In 2004, DeLeon and accomplices brutally murdered retired couple Tom and Jackie Hawks, who were selling their yacht to move closer to family. Driven by financial greed, DeLeon's plan was to steal the yacht for personal gain. He was charged with first-degree murder with special circumstances tied to financial motive. In 2008, he was convicted and sentenced to death. However, due to California's moratorium on capital punishment, DeLeon remains incarcerated at San Quentin State Prison, one of the state's most notorious facilities. Kyalan Rashad Walker, best known for his role in Superfly, faced serious legal trouble after his 2018 arrest on multiple sexual assault charges. Prosecutors alleged that Walker exploited his status in the entertainment industry to deceive women, primarily models, with false promises of career opportunities. Once he gained their trust, he allegedly used that influence to commit acts of sexual assault. Reports indicate that Walker frequently used social media to target victims, offering professional photo shoots and entertainment industry opportunities as a cover. The assaults allegedly spanned several years, beginning in 2013, with more than a dozen women coming forward by the time of his arrest. In October 2022, he was convicted on multiple counts of forcible sexual assault and sentenced to 50 years to life in prison. While acquitted of charges involving 3 of the 10 victims, the jury determined that Walker systematically exploited his status to commit these crimes. With his earliest possible release projected for the 2070s, he is likely to spend the rest of his life behind bars. Ryan Grantham, known for his roles in Riverdale and Diary of a Wimpy Kid, drew public attention in March 2020 when he was arrested for the murder of his mother, Barbara. At the age of 21, Grantham shot his 64-year-old mother while she was playing piano at their home in Squamish, British Columbia. Following the crime, Grantham devised a chilling plan, loading his car with firearms, ammunition, and supplies for a trip to Ottawa with increasingly dangerous intentions. However, after several hours on the road, he abandoned his plan and instead drove to a Vancouver police station, where he voluntarily turned himself in and confessed to his mother's murder. Grantham was charged with second-degree murder, which in Canada carries a mandatory life sentence. This charge applies to intentional acts committed without premeditation. During the trial, discussions about his mental health revealed a history of depression and violent tendencies leading up to the crime. Evidence also showed that he had rehearsed the act in the days before it occurred. In September 2022, he was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 14 years, making him eligible for release around 2036 at approximately 38 or 39 years old. While the judge acknowledged his youth and mental health struggles, they underscored the severity of the crime and the ongoing risk he posed to society. Harvey Weinstein was once among the most influential and successful film producers in history, with a legacy that included classics like Pulp Fiction, Scream, and Gangs of New York. However, his reign in Hollywood crumbled when misconduct allegations emerged in October 2017. In a statement, he admitted to causing harm and expressed regret, but by then, it was far too late to repair his shattered reputation. As the Dear Me Too movement gained momentum, a cultural shift empowered many women to come forward with their own stories of abuse, including high-profile actresses like Salma Hayek, Rose McGowan, and Ashley Judd. Judd chillingly recalled, "I fought off a series of punches that he ignored. Perhaps he heard them as consent." In a matter of months, Weinstein faced severe consequences. He was permanently banned from the Producers Guild of America and removed from the board of his own company. His downfall continued with a New York indictment, leading to a 2020 conviction for third-degree rape and a 23-year prison sentence. In 2022, additional charges in California resulted in another 16-year sentence. However, his New York conviction was overturned in 2024. Now at 72, Weinstein remains behind bars, a stark example of the lasting consequences of abuse and power unchecked. The show Welcome to Sweetie Pies made a significant impact on viewers over its 9 seasons from 2011 to 2018, following Robbie Montgomery, a backup singer who had worked with Ike and Tina Turner as she transitioned into a successful soul food restaurant owner. However, just a few years before the show ended, tragedy struck when Montgomery's 21-year-old grandson, Andre Montgomery Jr., was shot and killed in St. Louis. The truth behind this tragedy was even more shocking. In 2020, Tim Norman, Montgomery's son and a cast member of the show, was arrested and charged with murder for allegedly hiring someone to kill Andre. The motive was staggering. Norman had taken out a life insurance policy on his grandson, promising to pay the hitman nearly $500,000 if Andre died. During the 2023 trial, evidence from phone records and testimony from Norman's accomplices painted a clear picture that led to his conviction. Ultimately, he was sentenced to life in prison, marking a dramatic fall for a once-beloved television personality. Eun Soo, known for his role in Squid Game, became the center of a serious legal scandal following the show's global success in 2021. He was accused of sexual assault by a woman who claimed he had inappropriately touched her during a meeting in 2017. Although the incident was reported and a formal complaint was filed in 2021, the police initially declined to investigate due to a lack of evidence. The case was reopened in 2022 when new attention emerged. Eun Soo denied the allegations, asserting that he only touched the woman's hand briefly and that it was not sexual in nature. He expressed regret if his actions were misunderstood, but remained firm in his innocence. At the end of 2022, South Korean prosecutors officially charged Eun Soo with the crime of non-consensual sexual assault, a charge under South Korean law related to sexual acts that occur without consent but are not severe enough to be classified as forcible assault. These allegations sparked significant backlash, leading the Ministry of Culture, Sports, and Tourism of South Korea to suspend an advertising campaign featuring him. The international community was taken aback, as Eun Soo, who had been praised for his humility and wisdom following the success of Squid Game and his win at the Golden Globe Awards, was now embroiled in scandal. In March 2024, he was sentenced to 8 months in jail, but the sentence was suspended for 2 years, and he was required to undergo 40 hours of treatment for sexual violence. Danny Masterson, best known for his iconic role as Stephen Hyde on the beloved sitcom That 70s Show, which aired from 1998 to 2006, saw his fame overshadowed by serious allegations of criminal behavior during the height of his career, from 2001 to 2003. Masterson was accused of drugging and sexually assaulting 2 women at his home. In 2017, multiple women came forward with accusations against him, leading to an investigation that resulted in Masterson being dropped from Netflix's series The Ranch. While some cases were dismissed, 2 incidents moved forward, culminating in an 8-month-long trial. Emotional testimonies from the victims highlighted the profound impact of Masterson's actions, leading to his conviction on 2 counts of rape in May 2023. Just over 3 months later, he was sentenced to 30 years to life in prison and began serving his sentence at North Kern State Prison in Delano, California on December 27, 2023, marking a stunning downfall for the once beloved actor. In a 2009 indictment, Diddy was accused of orchestrating a systematic criminal organization that coerced women into prolonged sexual acts. He was alleged to have wielded power, made threats, and used drugs to manipulate and control his victims, all while maintaining his public image and concealing his actions. Diddy has denied all accusations, with his legal team arguing that he is the victim of an unjust prosecution and strongly asserting his innocence against the charges. However, prosecutors have presented alarming evidence, including the discovery of firearms and a significant amount of lubricants during raids at Diddy's residence, along with allegations of abuse and coercion. If convicted on all charges, he could face a prison sentence ranging from 15 years to life. Diddy has been denied bail twice and is currently being held at the Metropolitan Detention Center under special supervision for his safety ahead of trial. Thank you for watching today's video. We hope the stories shared have helped you understand more about the famous stars currently serving life sentences. Remember, love and acceptance are always important. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss any exciting content in the future. We'll see you in the next video.